Hi, Joe Phillips with Focus Real Estate Property Management. In this quick video, we're going to cover 5 things that DIY Denver landlords should know. So I've been a DIY landlord, and by that I mean just a landlord that's kind of managing their own properties. They don't do it professionally for other people. They're just taking care of their own stuff for about 18 years now. But we have shifted, and now we're doing this professionally for other people as a service. So we help people buy homes, sell homes, but then we also manage their properties for them now as well. So as I made that journey from DIY, just figuring it all out on my own, to professionally doing it for other people, I've learned a lot, and I just wanted to share 5 of those things with you in this video. So the first one is the Denver licensing program for rental properties. So you do now have to have a license to have a rental property. What that means is you just have to apply with the city of Denver. You have to have a certified inspector come out and do an inspection and just make sure the property meets basic health and safety standards that the city sets. You turn all that in and you get an application. That's just a very brief overview of that. But if you weren't aware that you even need to have a license, you should look into that soon. Denver has a very handy kind of FAQ website, gives you all the details, tells you when it becomes applicable, just gives you everything you need to know. So get a rental license for your rental property. That's number 1. The second one I wanted to mention is the 7-day late fee rule. So you can't charge a late fee in Denver and Colorado until 7 days have passed after the due date for that rent. So you can charge it and collect a late fee on the 8th day. I guarantee you that a ton of people in their leases, a lot of the DIY landlords that maybe don't know about it, have a lot of late fees that are charged on the 3rd day or the 5th day. You can't do that based on Colorado law. So if your lease is out of date, you're going to want to make that correction soon. Can't charge it until 7 days have gone by. Another one related to late fees, there's also a cap that has been set on them. So you can't charge more than the greater of $50 or 5% of the outstanding balance. That is the most you can charge. Anything above that is illegal. I think this late fee stuff and some of these other things we're going to mention, you really want to get corrected, even if you are trying to continue to manage the properties yourself. Because if you go to, unfortunately, have to evict someone, they're going to look at all your documents, and if you're not doing things right, that could affect your ability to evict them and get the property back. So you might want to make those changes. You also can't raise rent more than 1 time in a 12-month period. So that might have come into play over the last couple of years when rental rates were really rising consistently and steadily. You can't raise them more than once in a 12-month period with the same tenant. So you should be aware of that as well. The last thing I wanted to mention is the Denver Tenant Resources Disclosure. So this is a disclosure that landlords have to provide now by law to the tenant when the tenant signs the lease. And then if the landlord ever submits a notice, kind of a demand for a late rent payment or something like that, you also have to submit this disclosure to the tenant with that demand notice at that time. So this Denver Tenant Resources Disclosure just covers the tenant's rights, who they can call, when they might want to get a lawyer. It's kind of everything they're supposed to know. And legally, as the landlord, you have to provide it at those times. So that was 5 things that you should do as a do-it-yourself landlord. I'll just cover them again real quick. The Denver licensing program, 7-day late fee, the caps on the amount of late fees you can charge, raising rent, you can only do it once in a 12-month period, and then that Denver Tenant Resources Disclosure, you have to make sure you're getting that out at the right time. So that's just 5 things I've learned as I've gone from the DIY guy to professionally doing it for other people. If all this sounds overwhelming and you have something that you need to rent out, you have a property that you want rented out, we're happy to help. We'll take all that responsibility off your plate. You can focus on the other things you have going on. So Joe Phillips, Focus Real Estate Property Management. You can reach me with any questions at 720-299-1730. Thanks.